It began with silence, a silence so thick it felt like the city itself was holding its breath. Then a single siren, low and distant at first, then growing, screaming across the rooftops of London. People froze mid-step. Some ran to shelters. Others just stared at the blackened sky, waiting for what they didn't yet believe was real. A young boy pointed upward. Tiny lights flickered in the clouds, dozens of them. Not stars, not angels. German bombers. The hum turned to a roar, and then the sky opened. Explosions tore through the city. Glass shattered, walls crumbled, fires lit the night like a sunrise made of hell. The ground shook, alarms wailed, and somewhere, deep beneath Westminster, a man sat in silence, listening. Beneath 10 feet of concrete, the air was thick with smoke and sweat. Phones rang. Boots echoed. Typewriters clacked. London was burning, and the nerve center of the British Empire pulsed below ground. A door opened. Winston Churchill stepped in. Coat over pajamas, cigar clenched tight. His face was calm, but his eyes were fire. "Report," he said. An officer handed him a sheet. His hand trembled. "Prime Minister, the Luftwaffe has begun bombing the capital. Docklands are hit, casualties heavy." Churchill stared at the map. Tiny red pins marking destruction. He didn't blink. "Has the king been informed?" "Yes, sir." Good, tell him London stands." He walked to the wall, lit another cigar, and muttered almost to himself, "So it begins." Fire brigades raced through the streets, sirens clashing with the distant hum of planes. Civilians clawed through rubble, searching for loved ones. A nurse covered in soot whispered, "Where is God tonight?" A soldier beside her said, "He's in the shelters praying with the rest of us." From the Thames to Whitechapel, the city burned. And yet people refused to run. They stayed, watching the flames dance above their homes as if daring the sky to fall harder. London wasn't just being bombed. It was being tested. An explosion shook the ceiling. Dust fell onto Churchill's papers. He didn't flinch. He turned to his chief of staff. "How many dead?" "Too soon to know, sir. Hundreds, maybe more." Churchill exhaled slowly, smoke curling in the dim light. He whispered, "I walked these streets as a boy. Never thought I'd see them burn." Silence. No one spoke. He looked up suddenly, his tone fierce. "They think they can break us with fire, but fire is what forges steel." He slammed his fist on the table. "Send this to the BBC. Tell them. The Prime Minister will speak before dawn." Hours later, in a smoke-filled recording room, Churchill stood before the microphone. The air was heavy, the mood funereal, but his voice, steady, defiant. "This is not the end of London. This is the beginning of her greatness. They have tried to set our capital aflame, but they will only light the courage of her people. We will fight the fire with spirit. We will rebuild every home they destroy, and we will never, never surrender." He paused. Somewhere above, bombs still fell, but the sound no longer frightened him. He leaned closer to the mic and finished quietly. "Let them come." Dawn came gray and cold. Smoke drifted over the city like a shroud. Churchill walked through the ruins. No escorts, no parade. Just him, a cane, and the smell of ash. People saw him, and for a moment the fear in their eyes faded. A woman handed him a cup of tea with shaking hands. He smiled and said, "You see, madam, they can bomb our buildings, but not our hearts." She smiled back through tears, and in that small moment, amidst the wreckage of a city, hope breathed again. That night, alone in his quarters, Churchill sat with his diary. Outside, the fires still glowed faintly, the embers of a wounded empire. He wrote, "They will call me stubborn, reckless, even mad, but I will not lead this nation into despair. I would rather see London burn than Britain bow." He closed the book, poured himself a small drink, and whispered to the darkness, "We will not yield." Days later, when the recordings were broadcast, the world listened. In America, in Canada, in the bomb shelters of London, his words echoed. A child whispered, "He doesn't sound afraid." Her mother replied, "That's because he can't be." The Blitz would continue for months. Thousands would die, entire streets erased. But because of one man's words, one voice, one unbreakable defiance, London didn't fall. Late that evening, as another raid began, an officer asked Churchill, "Sir, shall we move to the deeper shelter?" He smiled, lighting another cigar. "No, my boy. If they want me, they'll have to come through the roof. He turned to the map, the red pins, the lines, the chaos, and said softly, "You see, they think they're bombing a city. But what they're really doing is waking a lion." Years later, a letter was found in Churchill's desk, written that night, never sent. It read, "To the people of London, you will not remember this night for its fear. You will remember it for your courage. When the bombs fell, the world watched you stand unbroken. And that, not victory, not weapons, is what will win this war. They bombed London to break its spirit, but all they did was forge its soul. And when the dust settled, the words that survived weren't Hitler's threats, but Churchill's promise. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. We shall never surrender, because sometimes the loudest sound in war is not the bombs that fall, but the voice that refuses to be silenced."